Here we go then. This is Matchday Live with NordVPN. Leeds United kick off 2026 with a trip to the reigning Premier League champions. Anfield, the destination, as Daniel Farke's side look to continue their unbeaten run. Nigel, Martyn and Bridie Hannon are here for all the build-up ahead of full match commentary. It's Liverpool against Leeds United.
That's an absolute belter! He's hit that one on the target. Viol with the header. Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Here we go then, New Year's Day. A first Premier League New Year's Day fixture for Leeds United. Since 2003, we've had to wait a little bit, but it's a big one, and we can't wait. Bridie and Nigel here with me in the studio. Firstly, Happy New Year to you both. Happy New Year. Nice New Year.
Yes, very, very good. Yeah,
good.
It's nice to be back here at Elland Road.
Absolutely. Nigel, good New Year for you as well?
Happy New Year. Yes, it's been very good. Bit of a late one last night, but recovering now.
Great. Well, now we've pretended we didn't have that conversation before we came to air, and we've done it officially. We can crack on with the action today. There you can see the Leeds United team arriving a little bit earlier at Anfield for this huge game. Ethan Ampadu leading the way, the captain, as always. This is a massive game. Normally we talk a little bit about the game, which we will do, but I just want to get straight into the team news today because it's an interesting one. There are changes for Leeds United, 4 changes, one of which we know was enforced with Joe Rodon's injury. We know he's going to be out for at least this game, probably at the weekend as well, and we'll be hearing more on the assessment of that injury soon. So Sebastian Bornau comes in at the heart of defence for Joe Rodon. Then there are 3 other changes in that right fullback position. James Justin coming in for Jayden Bogle. Noah Okafor drops out. Ilya Gruev is in the team. And Lucas Nemecha comes in for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That's the one that's caught a little bit of attention. We know that Calvert-Lewin's on incredible form at the moment. Nigel, I'm going to come to you here first because as soon as we got here today, we were chatting about the match. And the first thing you said is, you said, I wouldn't be overly surprised if Daniel Farke just rests Dominic Calvert-Lewin for this game. You were proved absolutely right, so talk us through the thinking.
I just think with the 4 games, the Sunderland game, this one, Man United and Newcastle, I think looking at those 4 games coming quite close, he would have targeted the Sunderland game as an opportunity to pick up points. I think the Manchester United game is another game that we can pick up points. And the Newcastle game is one. This is the toughest one of the 3. This is the most obvious one to rest Dominic. He probably doesn't want to because he's on such a great scoring streak, but it probably makes sense in the grand scheme of things.
I like the answer for 2 reasons. Firstly, because you were proved absolutely correct. Secondly, there was an early dig. We're only 1 minute into the show. Early dig at Man United there, which we all very much enjoy. That one, of course, coming up on Sunday. Bridie, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, let's say we'll start there. Of course, might still come on and have a big impact on this game, but he is in prolific form at the moment with the 7 goals in 6, breaking records, and we know all about that and the kind of form he's on. From his point of view, is it sensible? You know, we have a squad, don't we? That's what the players are for. Nemecha scored this season. He's had impact on games and he'll get the chance to lead the line.
Yeah, we were talking off air before. Nemecha's a very good player. He's very physical. You know, he's decent in the air. He can bring players into play. But I think, you know, as Leeds fans, we're all very excited when we see Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the starting lineup. And, you know, he's not let us down as of these last few weeks. Like you say, he's setting lots of records. But, you know, this is not a weak team. You know, when you look at the team, Daniel Farke has picked a squad that he believes will win this game this evening, or at least get a good result and a good performance. So, you know, it will be interesting. And it'll be interesting to see how the players react to it as well, because, you know, I think the players probably have got that confidence in Dominic Calvert-Lewin being so prolific, and it'll be interesting to see how they play, if any different, with a different man up top. Yeah,
Nigel, you can see the players coming out. It's a magnificent arena, isn't it now? And what they've done, the extensions that they've put on the stands, fantastic place. It's going to be some atmosphere there today, but you'd think the Leeds players, that's what you want Premier League action for. They're going to rise to the occasion and hopefully love every minute of it.
Yeah, especially the guys coming into the team. You know, they've not had much of a chance. This is an opportunity to put the hand up and show what they can do. And, you know, I'm sure they'll be excited to play there. It's a great atmosphere to play in, and you certainly want to produce a performance.
Yeah, Leeds fans already getting in there nice and early, of course. To soak up the atmosphere. It's interesting, isn't it? There are only 3 teams in the Premier League going into this game week set of fixtures, which is this halfway point, with 5 games unbeaten. 2 of those are these 2 teams, both coming into this having not lost in the last 5. So they're both teams that are on pretty good form. In fact, Liverpool have won 3 since they came here and had that 3-3 draw, Bridie. It's
set up to be a really good match, isn't it? And hopefully we'll see some good goals. And people have been saying to me, what's your match prediction? And I'm scared to almost say it, but I'm going to go for a 2-2. I know you're going to ask us later on as well. And I probably will change it as we have conversations and we touch on key players and things like that. But yeah, it's this Leeds United team, they're creating lots of really, really good chances. And, we've proven that we can score lots of different types of goals as well. And I think that's interesting. And, like I mentioned, Dominic's been fantastic up top, but, it'd be nice to see some other players chip in with a few goals as well, some of the midfielders and things like that. But, they've also got a couple of players missing, as have we. So, it's going to be a really tough game, as every game in the Premier League is. But, when you look at all the different stats and, all these New Year's Day stats and things like that, it all points towards a Liverpool win. And, they're playing at Anfield. We're going there as the underdogs today. We're not expected to get a result today. But, I mean, we've proven a few times these last few weeks that it doesn't matter who we come up against. We're in the Premier League and we want to be here to stay. And I think we've been playing some great football recently. So, why shouldn't the players go there and aim to get a result tonight?
And as we saw, last time in the Premier League, Crescencio Somerville with a last-minute winner at Anfield for a win there. These results can happen. There's no reason why the Leeds players won't go there. And, if you're a player in a match like this, if you can have an impact, it's going to be an impact fans will talk about for many years to come.
Definitely. It's somewhere you want to have a good performance. I think we've got to, take this as a free hit, really. Have a go at them. Liverpool are susceptible to conceding goals. I think it's the importance of our set-piece delivery today. So really take time of hitting the right areas and flood those areas with the big men we've got. We are a threat with set pieces, and we've got to utilise that.
Joe Rodon is a big blow, isn't it? Norman Hunter was the last person to play as many consecutive games for the club as Joe Rodon has. You've got to go back to October 2023 when he missed a league game for Leeds. That's how important he has been. He isn't ever present. He is a leader on the pitch. We've seen that time and time again. So it is a massive blow to lose him. And a big day for Sebastian Bornau as well, who comes in that back 3 that it will be tonight, we think. Really big occasion for him. So I guess it's 2 questions really. How big a miss is Joe Rodon, and how big an opportunity is this for Sebastian Bornau?
Well, I think we'll realise potentially tonight if we're going to miss him even more tonight. But I mean, like you say, he's been an absolute colossal at the back, and he's just fantastic. He's fantastic in the air. He's great out the back. He's got really good football, intelligent brain. He reads the game fantastically. I think he's a massive, massive loss. And like you say, he's a leader as well. And you need, people to stand up and be counted, especially in games like tonight. So, we'll see tonight how big of a loss he actually is. But I can't actually believe he stayed on the pitch as long as what he actually did, because he had a couple of really bad knocks on the same ankle. And I thought, how on earth is this guy still playing? A lot of players would have gone off by that point. And that just goes to prove what a warrior he is. And as for now, I mean, I've not seen much of him, so I'm interested to see, exactly what, what he's like tonight. And you're coming up against the reigning champions. This isn't going to be easy. In some ways, he's been thrown in the deep end a little bit. But these are the big games that, like you said, Nigel, these players want to be playing in, and at Anfield as well. I mean, the atmosphere is going to be brilliant. So hopefully, he'll have a good game.
Yeah, Nigel, just very quickly, this is the importance of recruiting in the summer and why we have a squad of players to go and do that, and it presents an opportunity for another player alongside Jakob, who's only come into the team in recent games really to make his impact, and he's made an impact. No reason why Sebastian Bornau can't do the same.
No, definitely. We could be talking a little bit later of, he scored 2 goals from set pieces. This is the sort of thing that can happen.
Nigel is still on the Christmas champagne and we are loving it, to be quite honest with you. Hey, if we're talking about that, we'll all be very happy.
Yeah, there's every potential for it. He's got to go and first do his defensive duties. That's why he's in the team. Yes, and we have bought players well to come into the situation if we do get injuries and things like this. The bench is still really strong as well. So don't rule out people coming on and making an impact as well later on in the game.
Well, we are just 21 minutes away from seeing the Bornau brace today at Anfield. Very much looking forward to that. Let's get the thoughts of one of the starting 11, a player who's really returned to some form since his return to the team. Player of the match as voted for by you, the Leeds United fans, against Sunderland. Here's the thoughts pre-match of Brendan Aronson.
Oh, Brendan, great place to come and play football. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, amazing. I'm really excited to play here. It's always a great experience playing here, and we're really looking forward to it.
Team's in good form. Can you keep that going today?
Yeah, for sure. You know, we're feeling good at the moment, of course, but we know we can't be too high and we can't be too low.
It's not so long since you played Liverpool, a matter of weeks. Did you learn anything that might help tonight in that game?
Yeah, I think we learned a lot from the last game. I think, you know, of course they're a team with a ton of quality. We know how good they can be in moments, but I think if we come here, we have the game plan that we want to play with, and we have to just try to execute it.
Yeah, Brendan Aronson in really good form at the moment. See him alongside the other players warming up. He was really good against Sunderland, wasn't he, Nigel? I mean, had a great game, as I say, voted as player of the match. And when he's being impactful like that, he can make a real difference to the team. Yeah,
I mean, he's had his criticisms at the start of the season, but he's shown that he's prepared to keep working hard, and he's, you know, the fruits are starting to show, and is really pleased for him with that performance. I think probably that was a game we perhaps should have won. We certainly dominated the game and just couldn't create that really clear-cut chance to nick all 3 points.
Yeah, he had a big impact in the game against Liverpool as well when he was on the pitch. And sometimes with players, it's not necessarily form can come and form can go, but how you respond maybe when your form isn't quite where you want it to be and how you come back. And he's really shown a sort of resilience there to come back into the team and make positive contributions.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't blown over with him when we first got him, and I think, you know, like what many people saw, he was quite wasteful in the final third. You know, we got into some really good positions, and, you know, it was either the wrong choice of pass or the pace of the pass or the decision making, and what I've seen in the last few weeks is much better in that final third, and obviously, you know, he's set up a few assists as well for Dominic. But yeah, I just feel like nobody's ever questioned his work ethic. You know, he works really hard, he presses really well, and I think sometimes he sets the tone a little bit. You know, he goes and the next one goes and the next one goes after that. So, you know, he's everything that Leeds are doing well at the moment, he seems to be heavily involved with, which is brilliant. And he's such a nice guy as well, by the way.
He is. There was a pre-show conversation of, do we talk about all this kind of stuff or do we just spend 30 minutes looking at the goal we scored against Sunderland on repeat, every single angle, over and over again, until we can't even look at it any longer. In the end, we thought we should talk about some other stuff as well, but we did want to, of course, spend some time dissecting what was a fantastic team goal. It's funny, you know, before that game we were doing it, Stuart Dallas was here and Don Matthew, and we were talking about how that could be a game of two teams that are really good at set pieces, and we've mentioned that again because Leeds have been good at set pieces. But this, as a team goal goes in terms of free-flowing football and open play, was fantastic. So who wants to kick us off having a look at this and talking us through it? All 11 players having a touch, starting on that right-hand side. Yeah, just keeping possession to start with and you know, being forced back. I think Sunderland really tried to put the high press on us, didn't they? And it was just great one-touch football, wasn't it? Just knocking it around, you know, really pretty to watch. I think this is the most important pass of all of them, out wide. And watch Calvert-Lewin, how he holds his run, and then it's at full pace to get across between the two defenders. Perfect little ball across, great finish.
It's a perfect example, isn't it, of switching play. They've gone out to the right, they've gone back to the left, and then back out to the right again. But I loved that little pass from Stack there. He literally said to Tanaka, leave it. This is my pass, and I know where it's going. I can see a picture in my head. And that pass was just well weighted. And like what we just talked about a second ago with Aronson, the decision making there, you know, in I think previous seasons that had gone over the bar, he'd have gone for the shot himself. But really unselfish play. You mentioned then the run from Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and this is exactly where we want him. These are the positions, and you know, when you look at his average kind of positioning on the pitch, he's always there or thereabouts, isn't he? And you know, when we talk about like Liverpool striker, for example, his Ekitike, yeah. His positioning is a lot higher up the pitch, isn't it? But what I liked about that is the confidence, you know, for us to go back and the confidence in each other as well as themselves to kind of all start all the way from the back and then go all the way up the front is absolutely brilliant.
I mean, I know we're 16th in the league at the moment, but you can't score a goal like that unless you're feeling. I guess that's what comes from the unbeaten run, presumably, Nigel, is that confidence of actually, we're a good team here. We can play football. That's the thing. And then the flip side to that is the confidence that goal will give this team going forward. To score a goal like that in the Premier League must be brimming full of it at the moment.
Yeah, we're playing well. You know, I actually really fancied us to go to Sunderland and get all 3 points. You know, bearing in mind the players they would have had away with the African Cup of Nations and things, it was a good time to go and play them. But we're playing some good football. We're full of confidence. picking up points. It's a good time for us at the moment.
Okay, let's get the thoughts of our commentary team. They'll be bringing you all the action as always here on LUTV. Bryn Law alongside Tony DeRigo down at Anfield.
Well, here we are. It's very cold, but we're looking forward to a very big game for Leeds United at Anfield against Liverpool, with lots to talk about in terms of the team selected as well, Tony.
Yes, Bordenau comes in. Also, James Justin comes in as well. Gruev, and another one is Nemecha up top. Certainly, Calvert-Lewin is on the bench and having a rest. So clearly, we've come with a game plan for this particular game, but also in mind the games that are coming up very quickly as well.
Yeah, so is this squad rotation that we're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what you need. I think trying to play every single player each and every game, the intensity of the Premier League is difficult. Where is the most chance we've got to win games? That's certainly pick up in the points at home, so you can see why one or two have been rested tonight.
The Leeds come into this in pretty good form, so they'll still want to maintain that, won't they?
No, sure, and I think it's about confidence, about momentum. You want to keep that going. I think all the players will come here thinking, you know what, we put this together, we can get a result here, no problems at all. So that's a real positive, and whatever the result is, it's the performance. That's what it's all about. We've got to keep that good play going.
It's only 3 or so weeks since the two teams last met in what was quite a thriller. Was there anything in that game that gave you reason for optimism about this game?
Plenty. And I actually think our strength is kind of their weakness, their vulnerability, which is just getting the ball in the box, however which way, whether it's corner kicks, throw-ins, free kicks. I don't think they defend it particularly well. If you allow them to get the ball down and we give them space, then we could be in a bit of trouble. But if we really make it difficult and put them under pressure and get some good service into the box, then why not?
Why not, indeed. Big game ahead, Liverpool v Leeds.
Yeah, we can't wait to get this one underway. It is a huge game. The players getting ready. Big day for Sebastian Bornau as well, coming into that back three. And they were mentioning the fact that we played Liverpool, was it December the 6th, just a few weeks ago. And everyone's got this slightly strange thing. The first one you played in December is now game week 19. Even though we haven't played all the teams yet, we're playing them for a second time. But what do we take from that game? Is it purely that when you have a game like that here at Elland Road and it's 3-3 and it goes the way it does, that the fear factor's not there against who are still the Premier League champions?
I think we've seen that they're vulnerable at the back. Konaté's challenge, to give away the penalty was really the turning point, because we at that point we were losing that game, quite comfortably, and it was Konaté's bad decision proved costly for them, but it gave us the impetus we needed to get back into the game, and the boys came back really well. It's quite often, it can be a bit, when you're playing a team for the second time in quite close time, if anything had gone on out on the pitch, it's certainly fresh in the mind. So there could be sort of things that you might be thinking about, certain challenges that were made and things like that. So it's very interesting when you play close together. Yeah,
a lot of the drama happened after the game, off the pitch, didn't it? But that was Liverpool's issue and not ours with Mo Salah, who of course isn't around. He's at AFCON at the moment. But this was, it was incredible here at Elland Road, wasn't it, on that night? The place was absolutely bouncing. And I guess what we also saw in this game is the power of the Elland Road crowd, which I think we'll see on Sunday against Manchester United, and what that can do and what it can do to opponents here.
Yeah, well, we talk about that, don't we, every home game and how it's helped us this year, and unfortunately we don't have that same effect away from home. But, it's a football match, isn't it, and anything can happen. And, if these players play to their true potential this evening, we can nick a result here. At the start of the season, we look at certain teams who, we should be getting results, and some of those games haven't actually gone our way, and then we've picked up points against teams that we shouldn't really have picked up any points against. And this is a team that we shouldn't really be getting anything tonight. So if we do, it's a bonus. But, the guys just need to go out there and just try and execute the game plan that Daniel and his team have set out to do today.
Ekitike starts up front for them. He's in really good form this season. Couple of goals against us as well. I guess the players will be very alive to the threat in particular that he has in front of goal.
Yeah, it'll be important, the communication between the back three, because he's going to want to work in between people and try and make it difficult for people to mark him and then find his space. for tap-ins and things like that. Slobbersley as well is a very good player. Somebody we've really got to get hold of tonight and not give him too much space either.
Yeah. So what kind of game are we expecting then, Bridie, from this one in terms of from the off? We know that Liverpool concede a lot in the second half, more so than they do in the first half. There were 2 up against Wolves, and then Wolves scored. They're a strange team. They still look. I mean, they're 4th in the league, so let's call it what it is. They're still in a really good position, despite the fact that they've had a kind of difficult season in so many respects. But they do look a little bit fragile, and they do look like they can be rattled if teams get at them.
Well, they've got one of the worst kind of set-piece records, I think, in the top 5 leagues at the moment. They've actually sacked their set-piece coach recently because of that. And like you said, that's certainly a strength of ours. So I think, Daniel will be saying to his team, let's try and get high and wide, and let's try and get, corners, free kicks, throw-ins from that out, from out wide, and let's try and capitalise on it. We saw it a couple of weeks ago. We had the debate about the Ampadu throw, didn't we? And, I watch Match of the Day every single Saturday night, and nearly every single team's doing it now, and and people are getting joy from it. And I've seen highlights from Liverpool recently, and it's just at the back there just seems to be a lack of communication. Who's going for this ball, and second balls, and it's just dropping into space where the opposition have just got time and space just to pick the pass and things like that. So yeah, I think they've got to be better organised defensively at the back of Liverpool tonight, and hopefully we can get some results up there as well.
You mentioned Ethan Ampadu. Leeds captain, of course. I guess Daniel Farke's had 2 options with Ethan Ampadu, given the situation with Joe Rodon, which is either to bring him into that defensive fold, we've seen him do that many, many times, or to leave him in that kind of sort of lower midfield position where he's been so effective. Does that tell you a lot about Ethan Ampadu's importance, particularly in that area of the park, Nigel, that Daniel Farke said that's where we need him most?
Yeah, I mean, he starts a lot of our attacks, and going forward, he also breaks up a lot of things as well, and he can drop back into a full-back position, he can drop back into a centre-half position if needed. He's an intelligent footballer, so he knows what's going on around him. But, it's not just defensively, he does start a lot of the things as well. So, things will break in the middle of midfield, he'll win it, and, set us for going from there. Yeah,
got his goal the other week, nearly scored a goal at Sunderland as well. Who knows, he might pop up with the Bornau brace as well. Ampadu on the score sheet. We're flying. Right, let's get the thoughts of the manager, Daniel Farke. He's been chatting, of course, ahead of this match, and does insist, as we know, heading to Liverpool is one of the toughest fixtures for the season.
Obviously, it's really recently that you played them. Can you take anything from that game, or do you have to take this fixture at Anfield in complete isolation from what went before?
Yes, a bit, of course, because it's more or less the same squad, very similar players also available for them. I think the only one that is missing, more or less, in comparison to the group that they had available for the last fixtures, perhaps Mo Salah, but he was on the bench anyway and not involved. So for that, the same players, also, of course, same manager, same style. It won't be a completely different animal right now. And we had to be at the best, at the top of our game in order to give ourselves a chance, but we did. And so for that, we had a relatively tight game, and also, I think, deserved in this home game to win 1 point. Yes, what has changed is that Liverpool in recent weeks was also in red-hot form. They've won game after game after we met last time, also since really a while right now, also unbeaten, back in the top positions. And of course, a home game for them is also even a bit more challenging and difficult for us in comparison to a home game for us. So again, it's a huge task for us, but also a task that we are looking forward to, and a really good game. And I hope we can be as competitive as we were also in the first game. Okay, what is missing? Of course, it's still Daniel James and Sean Longstaff are out. And also right now, Joe Rodon is out. It's not beneficial anyhow for what we want to do, but no complaints. So we go with what we've got, and for that, we try to be competitive again.
The thoughts of Daniel Farke ahead of this match. He'll be giving his final few words to the players as they get ready to go. I mean, you can see the scenes at Anfield, the flags go across the Kop, and it is a coliseum of football, isn't it, Nigel? I mean, what a place Anfield must be to play in.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's one of the only grounds actually where the goalkeeper can run out they'll clap you, you clap them back, and you don't get abuse for it. They'll just carry on clapping you. It's the one place. Even when I was playing there for Everton, they would still clap the goalkeeper. So yeah, it's a great atmosphere. It's a great place to play. It's a nice place to go and win as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. And the players will be feeling that energy, ahead of just a few minutes to go. They'll be getting ready to come out here to play in one of the biggest games of the season.
Yes, absolutely. Any footballer wants to be playing these kind of games, don't they? And like what I said, the players, they're underdogs today, so they just need to go out there and just try and enjoy themselves and just express and play how they want to play. And, like I said, Daniel will have done his homework. They'll have watched countless hours probably of footage and, see where we can hurt them. And like I said, I really do think that we can hurt them out wide today. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah, there's a set of fans who wouldn't be applauding opposition goalkeepers anytime soon. I can tell you that for none of that nonsense. Right, very quickly, two things very quickly. There's a little bit less pressure maybe going into this because of the recent results, but also, even picking up a point would be a huge prize given the form of the teams around us in the league. Nigel, there is a real opportunity here. Yeah,
we don't want to just go there and lie down. We've got to go there and get stuck into them and make it really difficult for them. And the longer we can actually sort of really keep them at 0-0. The longer you can keep that, the frustration builds, the crowd will start getting on their back a little bit, and that's going to be good for us. Okay, I do like the big flags and stuff, but I do think if you're underneath that, when something's happening, it's not ideal, is it? You can't see a thing. Right, let's get some score predictions here today in this game. Played them a few weeks ago. It was 3-3 in a crazy match of football. Bridie, I'm going to come to you first. Well, you sort of gave your sort of prediction but earlier. But how's this game going to go? How do you see it panning out? Yeah, I'm going to stick to 2-2. Okay. And Nigel, you? I agree. Borneo brace, 2-2. Are you really going with the Borneo brace, 2-2?
Please don't put that bet on tonight.
If that happens with a Borneo brace, that'll be absolutely sensational. All right, you sticking with that one?
Of course.
He's going with it. Right, the players are ready. We are ready. Hopefully you're ready as well, as are our commentary team. Bryn Law and Tony DeRigo. Birthday boy yesterday, Tony DeRigo. The first game of 2026. If this year pans out anything like 2025, we are in for quite the treat. Over to Anfield for kickoff. Leeds taking on Liverpool.
Thanks very much. Well, you've had all the build-up, and I would obviously like to echo those birthday sentiments for yesterday, for the man sitting alongside me for this game this evening. All that long since forgotten. He took it very easy, I can promise you, I made sure. So he's in fine fettle for this big game for Leeds United to begin 2026. Happy New Year to one and all, obviously. I think everyone's just about celebrated now. The clock has moved around. We have people who are following the game from all around the globe. So you will all have been celebrating at different times. I had a very quiet night because this was a big day at work today.